Hello everybody and welcome to Adobe Live. We'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we are creating and streaming from today and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name is Flynn, I'm hosting today and I'm here with Jeremy Mura, logo, brand designer and educator. What's up Jeremy, how you doing?
What's up Flynn, good to be here again man, thank you.
Good to be back talking about branding and design. We had a great stream yesterday, lots of fun, lots of awesome resources. Jeremy showed us how to navigate the world of mock-ups in Photoshop. Super cool if you want to expand on your projects. There were also lots of kind of useful links and places to get mock-ups and things like that we spoke about. So jump back and watch that video if you missed out. For everybody here today, well, I'll let Jeremy jump in and tell us what we're going to do in a second. But if you're watching live, you can ask questions as we're going along. We had some great questions yesterday as well. So questions about what we're doing today or questions generally around freelancing or design, Jeremy can answer and I'll jump in and also have silly, less important answers. What's up, Gareth and Alessandra in chat? Let us know where you're from. What are you up to today? What's going on? You working on something? You're just chilling out? Let us know as we're going along. But hey, Jeremy, what are we working on today?
Well, today we are working on a monogram for a coffee brand called Daily Grind Co. And yeah, I've always been a fan of monograms. I used to do a lot more vintage work back in the day, but these days it's more modern and tech and simplistic. But it's always fun creating some modern stuff, some vintage like retro stuff. It's always good to play around, experiment, and mix up your design skills. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on today. And yeah, I've got a little bit of a mood board here, and you can see when it comes to a monogram, it's basically combining 2 or more letters. Typically you want to keep it under 3 because I think if you go beyond 3, it's just it will probably be messy and hard to read, right? So I try and keep things to maybe 2 letters usually, but here are some ideas, and you can see really you can really be creative with how you interloop and intertwine your text. And maybe we can actually use the intertwine tool today actually as well. That's a new tool with Adobe, and I think that would be really great in Illustrator. So here are some examples of how you can use sharp edges and make it simplistic, and using simple cuts to imply shadows and stuff. So I'm going to use some of that inspiration and we're going to create a monogram. So I did do a quick sketch before. I was in my sketch pad and just messing around, and I came up with sort of this D, and then doing this condensed long G, and then fitting the C somewhere in there. And I don't know if I'll put the C in there. I might just do the DG and then put co somewhere. But for now, we'll just stick with this ID, and I'm going to start to roll with it.
I love that. I love seeing people's sketchbooks, particularly when it's not perfect. Like you see sketchbooks in brand presentations and things like that. And I'm like, that's not a real sketchbook. Someone's redone that beautifully. But I love seeing this because this is what my sketchbook looks like, right? It's just a quick idea. You might do it a couple of times. The whole point is just to get it. I'm not mocking your sketch, by the way. I just
it's all right. It's meant to be rough, dude. Yeah.
Just want to say it's cool to see, because I often see people kind of get try to spend way too much time on the sketch. The whole point of doing the sketch is just to get your ideas down as fast as possible. So I love seeing real sketches on Adobe Live, we should say. Yeah,
100%. I think we see people. There's this studio called Remotion, and they did the Mozilla Firefox logo and stuff. And they do beautiful sketches on their case studies, and you can just tell maybe they did it after they finished the project. I don't know, but it just looks amazing, But in reality, it's never that beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. And just to Barbara watching, yes, we are live. So Nashville by the way of Chicago, Boston, and Philadelphia. That's cool. And I know Gareth is in Scotland as well. Very, very cool. Yeah, we are live. So if you have questions as we're going along, don't hesitate to throw them in chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. Just starting by building down some basic shapes.
Yep, just getting the basic rectangular shape and then duplicating it, and then just laying it out over where I want the design to be, and start to build those letters. And then after, I can make some interesting cuts and unique things to fit, and then we can play around with some color and stuff at the end.
Nice.
Every great
logo you always start out in black and white as well?
Yeah, typically black and white just works well because I feel like I can focus on the idea and stop focusing on all the colors and the other little details. Because if a logo doesn't work in black and white first, then it most likely won't work in color. And so it's just easier to see the contrast between black and white and make it look better first up.
Cool.
So I'm just zooming in there, making sure it's all lined up. You can obviously press Control U to use the smart guides, and that really can help you out there. I'm just going to drop the opacity of this a little bit. And I'm going to lock that layer, and then I'm just going to change the color just so I can see what I'm doing. I'll do like a lighter gray, just so I can break it up a bit so I can see like what I'm doing.
Big fan of dropping the opacity down to see what you're doing, and also locking like a background layer, because I'm someone that likes to select everything in one go, and then I'm often selecting the background, then I have to deselect it and everything like that.
Yeah, it can get annoying. Another cool trick as well, if you can use a simple shape to measure the space, make it sure that it fits perfectly there.
I still do that all the time.
Yeah, it's a common thing, I think, in Illustrator. Illustrator does have a ruler type tool, but I feel like there's no like guides that tell you like the measurements compared to like Figma. Figma has a thing where it like shows you.
So go question, Jeremy, was there a logo you were surprised that it looked well in color?
Like for a client project, yeah, there was times, like for example, I did a logo for a recruitment. There was like a recruitment disability service agency type thing a long time ago, and I did like an A logo, so like it was a main A with had it was a simple A, but like it looked boring. But then when I added like I used a blue and an orange and sort of did like this gradient thing, it looked a lot better. Because yeah, sometimes when you add color, it just actually makes it come to life a bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Makes it look a bit better.
Cool. Thanks for the question, Alessandra. So it's interesting. So you built out the D and the C from building shapes, but the C used text to that. Is that because it's curved? It's a bit of a tricky shape, so it's faster to start with something that's already curved and then adapt.
100%.
Yeah.
So I can use this letter. It's a bit faster, or I can actually like go for the stroke method and like go like this, you know, and then I can cut that and then like do it this way and then like, you know, play around. That's another way I would probably do it. And then I'll just expand that, Control E, and then, you know, I'd have to work with it and cut it up with the shape builder tool. But overall, yeah, those are two ways you can actually do it. So.
I love that. I love the multiple ways to do things. There's so many ways. It's all about like what the right or the most efficient way is for that particular like task that you're doing.
Exactly. I just got to find the right style I'm looking for. Might not be perfect, but
were we talking about like how many like fonts and assets and everything you had in yesterday's stream? This is where it can be a bit of an Achilles heel. Gotta go through like
guys, it's insane.
Fonts.
Like if I show you my fonts, see, you can see here I've got like 7,000 or like 9,000 out of all my fonts, and I use
goodness.
This yeah, I use this to really help me out, and I can like filter things out so by year and stuff, and you can see I just turn on the light and it basically activates it. Because a quick tip, if you actually install all your fonts on your computer, it can actually slow down your computer and slow down all your Adobe apps. So you only activate the ones you're going to use for the specific project, guys. Quick tip.
Cool. I didn't know that. I mean, I've never really had that many active fonts, to be honest. I'm not one of those font hoarders like we were chatting about in yesterday's stream. I like to keep things simple, but
100%.
Yeah. So I pulled up some Monogram facts from yesterday because we're kind of chatting a little bit about that. So monograms first appeared on coins as early as 350 BC.
Wow.
It's the first example of a monogram.
That's awesome.
We have. So the earliest known examples are from names of Greek cities which were issued on the coins, like the city's name.
Trust the Greeks to come up with that.
Or
Very
make
smart
something that
visualization.
lasted long enough for us to have like evidence.
Yeah,
Evidence of it.
exactly. Yeah. I'm chopping off some of the, because it's a bit long, so I'm just trying to. So I'm using hold shift, and what you can do is actually press shift M, go to the shape builder tool, and then hold minus, and I can just click that off, and now you can see I've got like a cut C there.
Love that. Love the shape builder tool.
It's always a fun thing. I think I might just do the C like in the center or something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. All right, cool. I'm gonna duplicate these. I'm just going to maybe change the color real quick. That to the back, just so I can go if if it's not working, I can always go back.
Yeah.
And then so what I like to do is I can start playing around with how it's going to like intertwine with each other. And so you can see here, like I've got the G going through the D and then coming out here. So for example, pretty sure if I select these two shapes and I go to, just bring that down a bit, object, intertwine, make, and you do this, you can see it super simply has looped it in. And so using the intertwine tool can really help me like do this a lot faster. Back in the day, I had to do it all manually. I have to use like offset path and copy and paste. So that's one way. But I think first I should probably plus everything, unite everything. So I'm gonna select the shapes, and you can go to your, I have a shortcut, but if you go to Pathfinder, you can click the unite button, and that will like unite all the shapes that you want. Because I use the intertwine tool though, you can see how it turns everything into a group. So you got to be careful of that. once that happens.
Be careful what you select.
Yeah.
The color gods in chat saying, man, your Illustrator proficiency is mad. Yes, Jeremy has lots of shortcuts and tips and tricks and stuff like that. So if you've got questions as we're rolling along, let us know in chat. We'll ask Jeremy and he will teach us the magic.
Anytime. All right, cool. So we got that. The C, I want to intertwine over the G. Let's select this. Actually, I should have just selected everything and then did intertwine. So then it basically applies to everything, I'm pretty sure. Do that.
Nice.
So now you can see we've got some overlapping elements. It's looking kind of cool. The logo is looking a bit disproportionate with the C, so I might have to make it sort of maybe like the D, but for now I'll just leave it, and we'll see what we can do. So we've got the G, the D there, and that's overlapping there. That's behind. Yeah, I think that's all the stuff I want to do. All right, I'm gonna start building out these little sections. So what I like to do is like press P for the path tool. Okay, and then I can press left click, make sure that you select the path here, and then you find center roughly, and then I just hold shift, and then I can drag that in, so I can make like a little indentation like that.
Nice.
So that makes it like, gives it a little effect. You can also like do something like this maybe as well. Do like a bevel, or you can just make it like sharp. Like it's really up to you, like what you want the look to be like.
How do you make sure that anchor point that you've got in there is in the center?
So what I would do, usually the guides work, but it wasn't really showing up. Sometimes it just bugs. But what you can do is you can select everything, or select the anchor points, and then usually you can align the anchors. So, or another, I think a more simple way. Yeah, usually, and then you can usually center it. Yeah, I think the other.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I'll show you another way. You can do the shape, and then you can center it. Selection, pretty sure.
Oh, I'm gonna have to play with that. I did not know that you could like justify it centered like that.
Yeah, you just gotta change when you select like the anchor points. You just go up the top and select align to key anchor or selection, or you use a shape like a square or whatever, and then yeah, you can just use that and then like center it basically. See how it moves?
Yeah, wow.
Or just put a path there. So that's how I know it's center. But you know, because it's a monogram, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, we can always like have it like not too perfect.
And it definitely doesn't have to be perfect for today's purposes, but obviously when you're shipping something to a client, you want it to be perfect. But,
Totally.
Definitely don't have to spend like half the stream trying to get it pixel perfect for today. But it's good to know like that there are ways to do that. Oh man, I'm going to play with that. I love finding out new things about Illustrator.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's like,
I don't
what?
know everything.
Yeah, it's like, what? You could do that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm definitely in the camp of like using shapes to, you know, match things up. So my documents will always be filled with like random circles and shapes and elements and like just rectangles.
Yeah, totally. So for the G, I'm just going to add a shape here just to make it, because one of the things with monograms, you're going to have, you can have legibility issues. So to make sure that this doesn't look like a C, we have to like sort of make it with a G, and a G usually has a half crossbar in between it, you know. So like I could probably like do something like this if I wanted, and then like overlap it or whatever. But for this case, I'm just going to use this.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Duplicate again, the C. Can also just use the shape builder tool like that. So I'm just customizing the anchor points really.
Yeah, it adds
And then you can press A and select it and just move it like. The only thing that's bugging me is the width of the C is a bit thicker, but I could always make the other parts a bit more thicker or whatever. That's fine. I think for now. Okay.
There's a comment in chat as well. Jeremy should hold a whole masterclass on Illustrator. So he does. So Jeremy actually has courses on Skillshare and everything. So I've shared that link in the Behance chat if anyone wants to check it out.
Thanks so much, man.
I love the Illustrator one that you did. It's actually like on logo design. Like there's so much Illustrator in there. So yeah, check it out. It's really cool.
It's got heaps. I do have another one that yeah, it's got like everything, like all these Illustrator tools as well. So if you you'll find it on Skillshare if you guys go on Skillshare as well. I'm just rounding off the edges of the D. I think I might leave the inner D straight a bit. Yeah, I kind of like it with that straight edge. Okay, this is looking good. I think I might bring this in a little bit just to balance it out a bit. I'll make this a bit tighter.
Like an elephant trunk.
Yeah, basically.
I have another question in chat. What is something you find challenging in Illustrator, if there is any?
Something I find challenging? I think nothing. No. I don't know. I've used Illustrator for like 10 years now. I know most of the tools. Early on, I used to learn a lot from like Von Glitchka. He had some great courses on LinkedIn Learning. or lynda.com they used to call it, and I used to
right.
learn all the vector tricks and everything. I think, yeah, probably the hardest thing is like if you want to create like a very extravagant like illustration, you need to like practice with like a lot of layers, and things can get confusing if you're not layering everything properly and neatly. And I think keeping track of like all that is kind of hard sometimes.
I didn't realize lynda.com became LinkedIn Learning. Is that what happened to it?
Yeah, it became that. So
There you go. I was wondering where that went.
They bought them out.
Missed
That's
that
what happens when you have
It's always
money.
the way. That's too funny, because that was the place to go back in the day, before YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, and all the places that you can go to kind of learn tips and tricks and all that sort of thing. It was lynda.com, man.
It was
great.
It was great. And I had it as part of my uni course. They like was included, so
Right. Yeah.
I think that was like why I like jumped on it a lot as well. I think it was really cool.
Yeah.
So when it comes to typography, you can see I'm using the handles, these blue handles. You can drag that, and also you can see how it's very big. What I like to do is go to preferences, and you can go to selection and anchor, and then you can put the size all the way to max, because sometimes it can be hard to like select, like it's too small for the mouse or whatever. So that's another quick tip for you guys.
Do you keep it that way? Is that just permanent?
Yeah, I leave it like that. Yeah. I leave it like that. So when I select it, it's just easy to see all the handles, and obviously I got a high resolution monitor and stuff, but I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's a cool tip. I have to check what my settings are at. I don't think I've changed that before. That might help me in my aging eyes.
Yeah, aging eyes. I'm sure you got great eyesight, man.
I'm supposed to wear glasses. I never do.
That's right. Do you wear contacts sometimes, or?
No, I don't. I'm fine short-sighted. It's long-sighted, so I never wear them at the computer. I wear them outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So is that Pathfinder tool coming in super handy again? Seeing that.
Yeah, that's shape builder tool. So I'm just making like little cuts. This is one way to do it, or what you can actually do is like do like multiply, make it like darker color, multiply, and you can actually do like shadows like that if you want, and then like just cut it off. So you can do the monogram like that, but I think when it comes to like scalability, like you gotta make sure like everything works well. But for this one, I'm just going to I'll just make it white. And so this is one way to help like improve legibility as well. Just going to shift that a little bit down there, and then so I'll make all these spaces, and then I'll like go over it and see like if it's working or not. And that's why I do it in black and white first.
Yeah.
I'm pulling away, I'm looking at it, figuring out, okay, is this working? And then I can like worry about like cutting it later.
Yeah, so like when you're creating like a logo, you need to, monogram's a little bit different, but creating a logo, you want it to be as recognizable from a distance as well, legible, all that sort of thing.
Totally.
So you're sort of zooming out, making sure that the spaces work and it's legible, and it's finding the balance, I guess, between those two. Like you want it to be interesting, but at the same time you want it to be legible.
Yep, exactly. Just gonna add a little slit here just to make this look a bit more cooler. I like adding these little touches. I'm gonna bring this in, round it off. Let's go around 30 pixels. So we're using round and sharp. You could all leave it sharp, but I think just adding that contrast works really well. And then want to see if I can add some other ones. Like I could even add that like slit like that. So when it comes to shadows, you can actually do it like a sort of like a half instead of like a full just like split. You can do it like this. You can show it like there as well. It just makes it a little different, as you can see. All right. Let me use the shape builder tool. So you can see what it looks like, and when it's black, it might be a little bit tricky to see everything. So what I like to do is just like add some color. And then I can see like, okay, is this working? Is this not? Yeah. So what I feel like, I'll get rid of the C. Now I'll just focus on
Yeah, that C was causing some problems, I think.
Yep. And that's the thing, you're like, it's sometimes you just got to simplify, right? So that's what I'm doing now.
The elephant trunk.
This wait, this section.
Question from chat. Has Jeremy ever come across a combination of letters that he could not turn into a monogram? Oh, I bet there's combinations that would not work well.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Usually the easy ones are things like a O or a T. You know, S is kind of good, but it can be a bit tricky. You know, F is a kind of a hard one. An X as well would be hard. A Y. Things with like weird angles, you know, it's easy when it's the round square shapes. Right. All the other weird shapes is way harder. So that's why I recommend trying to do simple ones.
It can happen, can't it? Like I remember created a podcast a long time ago called Australian Design Radio, and I really liked the name. We had the brand for a long time, and then a very, very kind, very good friend of mine, Christopher Doyle, created a brand for us. And during that process, we already had the name, but we were pretty much open to changing everything. When they came back and kind of pitched us, they said, we hate the letters A, D, and R.
Oh, no.
It's so hard to make work. Just that combination of letters together, the A, then the D, and then an R again, they're all kind of fighting each other. But they're like, we had to make it work because the name was right. Like, we're not coming back, you know, suggesting you change the name, because unfortunately the name is correct. But it was so hard. We wish we could change the name. End up being a beautiful brand. But yeah, definitely like certain letters can cause you some problems.
Major problems.
Just don't, you know, they just clash next to each other, whether they're on top of each other or you're creating a monogram, or they're side by side, or you might be writing the name out because it's getting so complicated, but then some words are much longer than some of the others.
Yep, it can become a major issue. And that's why you really gotta refine it and like go through a lot of like visions and to figure it out. I think maybe I'll just go like this. See how the smart guide's working for this one? See?
It's working there.
The purple line. See, but other times it wasn't working, you know. So it's like why aren't you working? Okay, so I'm feeling like this is a lot better than what we had before. Really simple, clean. And now let's try and put the code in here.
I mean, that's the other thing, like kind of going back to what I was talking about changing it a little bit. Like you had the DG co, but you can also be like, well, maybe the co just sits separately to the monogram. Like, does the co have to be part of the monogram?
Correct. It could.
Correct.
Correct. You can do something like this, or like, you know, maybe pull this back and chuck it in the middle or something like. Or we like, you know, put that behind, and then you go like this. Like that's one way to do it as well. So, you know, you can play around with different ideas. I notice I'm starting to veer off the artboard. So just bring this 130.
Yeah, like in this case, the co like almost acts like a trademark or something, or copyright symbol. Like it's something that's kind of stamped next to the monogram in certain situations.
Yeah, 100%. I want to try and find a color. I don't know if I want those blues anymore.
So is this is Color Hunt? So is this something that you might use?
Yeah, Color Hunter Co. It's really great, and you can filter out. So, like for example, I clicked on vintage on the side. You know, I can click on, or I can just like click by popular as well. You know, for example, like this one looks pretty good. I'll screenshot it, paste it in, create. Oops, I don't know why that's grouped for. Oops. Paste it, quick trick. Press Ctrl D, duplicate. And then I just select these, click the folder symbol in the swatches panel, and then you can just name the group like, you know, colors or whatever. And then I got the color palette right there. So then I can get rid of this. I'll bring this to the front.
I was getting Draplin vibes from those colors just then.
Chaplin, yeah.
Right there.
Love Aaron Chaplin, man. He's the best. And so you can see without the slits, it you know, it can be a bit tricky. I think I might just cut them fully. Put the G there, this one. Could do it that side or this side.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trial and error with that, isn't it? Because you have to think about which is kind of like on top of which one, because you want it to intertwine.
Exactly. So I'm just like using my eye and using my instincts and going for which one I feel like will look best. Because you only do the parts that are intertwining. For example, this G part, you can see that it's under the D, right? So you can see here it's under. Over here it's over. So that means logically a shadow should be here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and so that's why I'm putting the shadow here, which is an empty part there. But as I said before, you can do the whole multiply thing. Just put it the same color, multiply, and I can do it like that.
Yeah, that's a cool trick. I like that.
Yeah, so this is another version you can do for the client. So hey, this is, you know, maybe we want to do it like this instead of like full, you know, like a punched out version. I want to round this off a bit. If you want to make the corners like even, you can also go to the corner tool on the top and like set exact pixels. So I'm doing 20 pixels there. That's looking pretty slick. So I want to do that. No, I kind of like it, the sharp there. Okay, cool. DG code. I think it's looking pretty good.
Nice.
So, you know, I always encourage designers, like sometimes it's better just to like free flow, you know. You don't always have to like be exact to the exact design that I had, you know. That's what I like about design. You can just like explore, and like if you find something better, then like go for that. You don't always have to stay true to the original design.
Yeah, and you might come back to it, right? Like you might say, oh, I've gone in this direction, didn't quite work, or I've gone in this direction, but that's how you discover, like you can discover like this kind of happy little accidents or discover something on the way, which I think is cool.
Exactly. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's try and do a different color. I'm just going to make these small, duplicate, select everything, press Shift M for the shape builder tool. I'm going to hold Alt and just minus off those spaces. So I'm just cleaning everything up now. Then I can press, if I unite them, I won't be able to color the certain elements. So I'm just going to select the G like that. And then you can use the Pathfinder tool, use Unite. And then the only thing is that once it becomes if you unite it, if it becomes you have to do a compound path. So you can see if I united it, like I can't pull certain specific elements like behind or over.
Right.
So instead of uniting, right? So I got separate elements. Obviously I can plus that one together. You select all these shapes. I'll just color it just so you can see. Oops, press Ctrl Z. I'll color it, and then you can go Object, Compound Path, Make. So usually, yeah, Compound Path works, or you can do the Intertwine tool again. Yeah. Anyway.
That's cool.
Right.
I like that. If you group it, it would be the same, wouldn't it? If you group it together, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. You can group it as well, but if you press Ctrl G, you can see it actually doesn't work. Like.
Yeah.
So either use the intertwine tool or make, do a compound path, or just like keep the shapes separate. Like, I can just delete. I can make like a square and just delete this section under. That's another way to do it as well.
Right.
That's why it's key to get the right shadows and everything nice up front first.
Yeah.
All right, let's start adding some text. I've got a packaging mock-up. Maybe we can quickly whip that up.
Oh, we're bleeding in from Tuesday's stream in mock-ups.
And why not? Why not?
Yeah. I like it.
Just do that.
Comment in chat. You might want to make those gaps bigger so it works when it scales down.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a logo as well, right? Like, you're right. Like the smaller the gap, the more resolution like you're going to lose more readability
Totally.
you'll lose the smaller it gets. So
Yeah, you can see here, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see this one. But you'd have to make a separate version.
right.
And then, like, obviously it doesn't take that long, so I can just go this one. So you can see if we quickly scale it, see it looks a bit better than if we scale down this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's definitely a tip I use and like making that. We got this daily grind.
Man, that Y is wacky in that font.
I know. It's really
It's
cool though. It's kind of cool.
It is cool. I like it.
It's called Azo Sans, that one.
Azo Sans.
What else we got? We've got BN Hand Gothic is nice. BN Dime as well is pretty good. That usually works well with all caps.
Oh, that's good. It's like thick. Like
Yeah, so there's heaps of ones we can do, I think. I think this one's cool, the Azo one. Alright, duplicate this. I don't need code because it's like up here.
For those of you just joining us, seen a bunch of new people join in the last couple of minutes. We're here with Jeremy Mura, and we're way over halfway actually of creating a monogram. We also did a great stream yesterday if you want to check it out about creating mock-ups in Photoshop. Today we're in Illustrator. If you've got questions as we're rolling along, don't hesitate to throw them in chat. Oh, speaking of mock-ups, that was not planned. How did you bring that in? You did that pretty quick, but I'm often interested in how people kind of just bring it in. You just copying and pasting that straight from Illustrator to Photoshop?
Yeah, so Illustrator, select this, Control C, and then I already have the mock-up here. You can see I double click on this, which opens up this, and then I double click on the label design, and that will take me into this section here. And so you can see that. And then if I press Control, all you gotta do is press Control S and then Control S here. And then you can see it starts to pop up there, which is kind of cool.
Pretty crazy in the last like 5-10 minutes how much it's gone from like a black and white couple of like vector art to looking like a legit, you know,
yeah,
thing
kind of
that exists.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm digging that Y so much, but it's made my day.
It reminds you of sort of like the ManyChat logo. They have like a wacky M. It's pretty cool.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
ManyChat? I'll have to
Yeah,
check that out.
ManyChat.
Yes, I think Alessandra was thinking the same thing I was. This looks great. I blinked and it's done. Yeah, that's exactly kind of what kind of happens. I mean, that's what our whole stream on Tuesday was about, like just adding that extra, like expanding on it by, putting your design in context for people. But even us, right? Like we're watching, we're like, damn, that just looks legit. Looks really cool. Smooth packaging already looks good, Derek. Yeah, exactly.
Now,
here we are. Here's the AI jumping into the design process, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't tell them my secrets.
Cat's out of the bag.
Exposed.
Yeah. No, it's out. It's happening. Imagine where we'll be in a year.
Man, it's gonna be crazy fast, in my opinion.
I don't think I've ever seen technology like move so fast. And I've been around for a bunch of them, bunch of crazy shifts, but it's moving really quickly. Let us know actually in chat. Are you guys using any AI in your creative process? I'd be super interested just to get like a bit of a crowdsourced answer
Yeah, let's see.
Everybody I
People
know
are
is,
using
including me.
it.
I mean, especially for something like mock-ups, right? Like, replace that lorem ipsum with something that's like a little bit more descriptive and just as quick.
Totally. Chuck that there.
The perennial question for you, how long does it take to work on a client's logo and brand design?
Usually 2 weeks. The logo takes only like a day or two, to be honest, or like, because if you do the discovery phase first and you research for like half a day, then you know what what they want, and also what the ideal audience is, and you've done your mood boarding or stylescaping, and so yeah, the results will be a lot faster. And so usually it drags out because the client takes too long either to give feedback, or it takes forever to create the brand presentation. Even with my template, I got to create the mockups, I got to lay it out, I got to type some rationale, and presentation really takes the longest, so
Yeah, and like forward and backward email, waiting for feedback, all that
exactly.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And would you be working on other projects at the same time? Like, presumably you will be.
Yeah, exactly. Like content, or like YouTube, or like
this.
Exactly, all this. So yeah, I'm just downloading some coffee icons. Just to quickly like throw down on there. Photoshop, and then I'm just going to go on downloads.
I like how the D looks almost like a foil in there because of the lighting effect. Like, it looks like it's
true.
cut out. Like, that thing in packaging where you just have like negative space, you have it cut out, and the material from the product is like coming through. It's like a good little cheaper dodge of creating a foil.
Yeah, 100%.
But it can look so good if it's pulled off, and that mock-up actually makes it look like that's what's happening.
That's awesome, man. We are achieving success.
Yes, we are.
So I'm just adding a color layer, a quick tip to the icons, and I won't make it white. I'll make it like this light green color, or actually I might make it the orange. Let's make it pop a bit, and then just go like this. Obviously doing this pretty quick. And you can probably do this faster in Illustrator, actually. Oops.
Do you ever get the shortcuts mixed up between like Photoshop and Illustrator?
Sometimes. Most of the time I don't. Like, I'm pretty solid, but yeah, sometimes it's I try and like make them the same.
Oh, right.
And
like you customize it a little bit? Like,
yeah, I do. I try and customize it, yeah. Small batch. Duplicate, come on. Go to ChatGPT, just copy like this. I'm just trying to get those like subheadings here.
Yeah, like this kind of keywords or like points of difference or something that might be on a piece of packaging.
Yeah, exactly. And then one more really quickly. And then we'll show the mock-up in a second. And all right.
Also, just checking in with chat. We've only got about 5 minutes left. Any last minute questions? Throw them in chat. We're done. You will miss out because we are done with Jeremy this week. So Jeremy did our live stream on Tuesday and also today. We've only got 5 minutes left with him, so don't miss your chance. This mock-up's awesome. I love the iconography down the bottom, like just the way the light hits it. It's really cool.
It's really cool. I think it's just like part of the this mock-up that I got. It's got like foil. It's got the emboss effect, so you can see it adds like this little light, so you can turn that off and on, which is kind of cool.
Maybe that's what was tricking my eye before into thinking that it really looked like a foil.
Yeah, maybe. I think probably that's why. Let's go pattern make. Pattern, and then we'll go rotate, change the angle, transform, go like this.
It's moving fast because he knows we're almost done.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just like go like this, I think. Save.
Oh, nice.
Boom. There we go. Added a bit of brightness to the package. Just brighten up the package a little bit.
Wow.
And then saturation, we'll bump it up. Bumping it up, and then contrast. And yeah, I think that looks pretty cool.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Man, rewind 15 minutes ago and we had a black and white vector art.
Yeah, no, it was looking bad, but hey, it ended up working all right.
This is where we are. Like, I seriously, it was about 20 minutes, I think. Like, even back, not quite that far, but like maybe the final iteration of the black and white logo, I think, is where we were. Maybe that version. And then I think it was about 20 minutes to go from.
We just pumped
there.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I didn't do much. I feel
moral
like
support.
I'm more like a cheerleader, if anything.
Yeah.
But I'm very impressed. I'm sure you guys are as well. Like that's pretty amazing what you can do. Yeah, spiffy design, says Derek in chat. Yes, I agree. Very spiffy. That's a great word for it.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. Look what can be done.
Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, I can refine it and always add little more things and stuff, but I think for now it's all right.
That's super cool. Well, that finishes our time with Jeremy. Jeremy, it's been awesome hanging out with you, man. That was very impressive. And I hope you guys learned something as well. Where can people find you outside of here? Where can people find more of your work, find out more about you? I know there was some questions about, there was someone bringing up, you should do masterclasses, and it's like, yeah, you got some. So how about you plug some of that on our way out?
100%. Yeah, so you can find me at my website, jeremymura.com. I do coach good designers and creatives, and I also do have courses. A lot of my courses are on Skillshare. So if you want to learn Adobe Illustrator, logo design, brand identity, I have 3 great courses on there that will basically tell you all the skills that I've learned over my past 10 years, and I basically teach that. But yeah, you can also follow me on Instagram as well. I post a lot of content on there. And I'll really appreciate if you could follow me on and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I post everything about branding, logo design, and freelancing and running your business. So appreciate you guys being here, and thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And if you're watching this on demand, or if you're live, all the links to Jeremy are below in the episode description as well. So nice and easy. Thank you, Jeremy. It's been awesome as always hanging out with you, and we look forward to having you on Adobe Live again in the future.
Thanks so much. See ya.
All right. See you guys.